I just saw Spider-Man Brand New Day. And oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. I literally just got home. I haven't even changed out of my premiere dress yet, but I was too excited. I was too excited to change my clothes, and obviously there will be no spoilers in this video. This is going to be a completely spoiler-free and pretty vague review because it's going to be hard to talk about this movie without spoilers, but let's get the fuck into it. There is a reason why I was so excited for this movie, despite my, general caution about the current state of the MCU in general right now, and that is Destin Daniel Cretton. This man, let me tell you about this movie. Okay, first of all, it is gorgeous. It looks beautiful. The colors, the texture, New York City in this movie has never looked better in the MCU, bar none. This is the Spider-Man story I have been waiting for literally my entire life. I have been begging for sad boy college days Peter Parker, and oh my God, it feels so good to finally have him. It feels so right. I'm gonna try not to get hung up on all the little details, but the Spidey suit looks so good, so good. We have not seen this peak levels of Spidey suit since the TASM days, all right? This suit looks amazing. The fact that it's real fabric and you can see it folding and shining and bending and creasing on screen is just, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful. It looks incredible. It's sleek. It's amazing. I mean, and furthermore, there are so many scenes in this movie where you can tell that they are using practical effects, oftentimes in hand with CGI effects, but that is the best way to use them. You can tell that it's not just like a CGI puppet. It's a real person in a real suit on a real set. We used to pray for times like this. And this film should be the gold standard. This should be the expectation for what a Marvel crossover story looks like. Because going into this film, the thing I was most nervous about was the inclusion of the Punisher. There were a lot of elements in the trailer.
Here's what to know before you see Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is the 4th standalone Spider-Man movie since the character officially joined the MCU. If you want to be real technical about it, the character's first appearance is actually in Iron Man 2 because fans theorized this little kid in the Iron Man mask was actually Peter Parker, and Marvel retroactively confirmed that to be true. But his first genuine appearance was in Captain America Civil War. The Avengers have split up due to a disagreement about signing the Sokovia Accords, which would make it so the Avengers would become subject to government oversight. Steve Rogers, aka Captain America, refuses to sign the Accords, but Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, is in favor. So they lead each side of this mini Civil War. To try and capture Steve and his team, Tony recruits a new superhero he's been observing in Queens, New York. That turns out to be Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. Now, we never actually see a direct origin for this version of the character. We don't see him get bit by the spider, and we don't see what happened to Uncle Ben. By the time we meet this version of Peter, that's all already happened. But we'd already seen different versions of that origin in both Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man, so it wasn't really needed. Peter agrees to come and fight for Tony on this one mission, and from that point on, Tony becomes a kind of mentor to Peter.
Underoos!
We got the first MCU Spider-Man movie in 2017 with Spider-Man Homecoming. After helping Tony and fighting alongside other Avengers, Peter is eager to become a full member of the team and use his powers to help save the world. The problem is, he's just a kid. He's still in high school. Tony advises him to focus on just being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, keep going to school, do what you can in your local community, but Peter can't resist trying to take on a bigger threat when he learns about Adrian Toomes, aka Vulture. Adrian's company was assigned to help clean up New York after the battle in the first Avengers movie, but his company was replaced when Tony helped to create the Department of Damage Control. So now they spend their time recovering all the leftover alien artifacts from the battle and using them to make new weapons and other technology. Peter accidentally reveals his identity to his best friend Ned, so Ned becomes Peter's guy in the chair. Their investigation into Adrian results in a confrontation with him on the Staten Island ferry, which endangers the lives of citizens. Tony gets angry at Peter for disobeying him and takes back the fancy
What if I told you that Marvel's next Spider-Man movie has already become one of the internet's biggest debates, before most fans have even seen it? Everywhere you look, people are arguing. Some fans believe Spider-Man Brand New Day could be the best Spider-Man movie in years. Others think Marvel is making promises it simply can't keep. So, is this excitement actually justified? Or is social media creating another controversy out of pure hype? Today, we're breaking down everything that's fueling this debate, from early reactions and fan expectations to the biggest arguments dividing Marvel fans around the world. Spider-Man has always been one of Marvel's most beloved characters. Every new movie carries huge expectations. After No Way Home, fans expected the next chapter to take Peter Parker in a completely new direction. When promotional material, early reactions, and online discussions started appearing, excitement spread almost instantly. Some fans praised the darker atmosphere, Others liked the idea of focusing on Peter Parker's personal journey again instead of another massive crossover. But not everyone was convinced. Many fans immediately began questioning whether Marvel could actually deliver what people were expecting. And that's where the controversy really began. If you've looked at social media recently, you've probably noticed something interesting. There are basically two completely different conversations happening. The first group believes Marvel is finally listening to its audience. They argue that Spider-Man works best when the story feels personal, emotional, and grounded. According to them, Brand New Day looks like a return to what made people love the character in the first place. But then there's the second group. These fans aren't convinced yet. They believe Marvel's marketing has created enormous expectations. Their concern isn't necessarily the movie itself. It's whether any movie could realistically live up to the level of hype that's building online. Here's something worth thinking about. Years ago, audiences usually waited until a movie actually released before deciding whether it was good or bad. Today, a few photos, a short teaser, or even a rumor can dominate the conversation for days. Within minutes, videos start appearing. Creators post theories. Reaction channels analyze every frame. Comment sections become battlefields. The algorithm rewards strong opinions. The more dramatic the debate becomes, the more attention it receives. And sometimes, the discussion surrounding a movie becomes even bigger than the movie itself.
The first Spider-Man Brand New Day reviews are officially here, and they are absolutely insane. We've got people calling this the best Spider-Man movie of all time, while others think it's more of the same old for the MCU, so let's get into all these different reviews. We'll get to different individual reviews from other critics and creators in a second, but first, the movie launched at a 92% score on Rotten Tomatoes, which is an absolutely amazing start. So a lot of people don't actually know how Rotten Tomatoes works. That 92% just means that out of all the critics that have seen the film, 92% of them gave it a positive score. As you can see, the actual average of all the reviews from critics is at a 7.7 out of 10. Still a really solid number. For some context, this actually has a very similar score to all the previous Tom Holland Spider-Man films. As you can see, they're all sitting between 91 and 93%. I can't believe the garbage film of Spider-Man Far From Home is at the same rating as these other ones, though. Let's start getting into these individual reviews. Jonathan Sims says that Spider-Man Brand New Day is a fantastic experience that combines the heart of Peter Parker with the thrills of Spider-Man action. The swinging scenes are the best in years. A gorgeously shot film with a powerful message, and that Sadie Sink is a standout. The street level Spider-Man we've been waiting for. Destin Daniel Cretton upgrades this series in more ways than you can imagine. I'm sure if you watch my channel, you know who Sammy J Reacts is. He's one of the biggest Spider-Man fans on the planet, and he says that Brand New Day is the MCU Spider-Man film I've always wanted, bursting with sincerity and earnestness, love and respect for the Spidey mythos. Destin and crew perfectly understood that what makes Spidey relatable isn't that he's superhuman, but that he's superhuman. Cried so much. Another fellow YouTuber, Sean Chandler, says that Spider-Man Brand New Day is the NYC-centric, more mature Spider-Man movie I've wanted. Spider-Man and Punisher are great together. There's lots of fun twists and turns in the story, which I've heard from a lot of these early reactions. It's a little overstuffed, and I think we have a new comic book movie third act trope. I walked out very satisfied. Fans will be happy. I'm not sure what he means in this third act trope. Maybe they like beat the villain with the power of friendship, just like Thunderbolts or something. We got a lot more reviews to get to and some negative ones, as you can see above my head here, but I love hearing all these things like, yeah, the movie absolutely nails the emotional elements. It's a huge visual upgrade, because that was my biggest beef with the John Watts trilogy. Visually, those movies look so dull and flat. So the fact that we actually have a great looking movie with amazing swinging scenes and action sequences, such a huge upgrade that I cannot wait to see. But as you can see here, our boy David Ehrlich, he always gives negative reviews of most things, and he is not disappointing with his Brand New Day review. He says that Brand New Day is a movie about people who don't remember or care about all that multiverse nonsense. This was Marvel's best chance to get back on track. Alas, this dull and tedious sequel only...
I went to the premiere and saw Spider-Man Brand New Day early in non-spoiler review. This movie starts with the city of New York, and it's almost jarring to see Tom swing through the city when it's been missing for the last 3 films. The tonal shift, the scale, it almost made it hard to believe that this is the same Spider-Man story, but that's actually its greatest strength. Because as we explore the city itself, like Spider-Man 2, becomes a character that answers the question that Peter is searching for. Is Peter alone? Is Peter Peter, or is he Spider-Man? A detail that's even present in the suit itself. You see, one of my favorite details in this movie is that even though Tom Holland is in the suit a majority of the movie, you're not watching Spider-Man, you're watching Peter Parker. There are these moments that even with the mask on, it feels like you can see Peter's face through the mask. You can read every single one of his emotions. You can literally see his eyes through the mask that carries so much pain, but also so much empathy. You can see the man hiding behind the mask, which is something I think we can all relate to, which ties us back to the emotional core of the movie. Spider-Man Brand New Day, and my main takeaway is that this is a Peter Parker story. It's a story about us. How we can hide behind our masks when we're at our lowest, but it's not the end of our story. This film carries so much heart, so much soul, so much passion that you feel like Spider-Man has finally come home, and in a way, you feel like you can come home yourself, to yourself. Because if you yourself have ever felt isolated, Spider-Man Brand New Day is a movie that reminds you how important connections are, but also reminds you how many connections you really have, even if you don't realize it.
Internet, hello you lovelies. I am just walking out of the world premiere of Spider-Man Brand New Day. I got to see it in Dolby at the Dolby, and this movie is a Saturday morning cartoon come to life. It is pure joy. It is so warm. It's not pure joy, but there's so much joy in it. It goes through so many emotions and feelings. It is everything I love about Spider-Man because of his connections. If No Way Home was so focused on the villains because it effectively did a Sinister Six multiversally, this goes the opposite way. This film is all about Spider-Man's connections to heroes and connections to who he needs in his life, and there's so many layers to that, and there's so much importance in what his web represents. There's so much about Spider-Man that is who's in his life. And if there was an issue I had with how you needed to bring this version of Spider-Man to the MCU, it was kind of had to juggle a lot of people, and it didn't feel like as strong a connection at all times. This one not only punches up those connections, but it actually uses this story to color in some of the journey we've been on so far to make those connections richer. It is a wonderful story of family, of friends, of Spider-Man. It is full of twists and turns. It is, I cried with joy and moments of sadness and concern, but it's a Saturday morning cartoon in all the right ways, all the positive ways, all the characters. It adds depth to Punisher, to Hulk, so much to Spider-Man. This is easily my favorite Tom Holland performance, one of my favorite Zendaya performances. I love Jacob Batalon in this. I have so much to say and so much to gush about. I'm going to do a long form review. I could talk about this movie for hours, and I will, but for now I want you to know that they gave us Spider-Man, and they gave us Tom Holland's heart and Destin Daniel Cretton's incredible directing, and this is the most Spider-Man live action maybe to the comic books ever. I've got to think about it. I got to process it. I'm so happy. It's Spider-Man, you guys. They took that power and responsibility seriously. Oh.
Now let's talk about the criticism, because not everyone believes this excitement is completely genuine. One of the biggest complaints online is that Marvel may be relying too heavily on nostalgia. Some fans believe every new Spider-Man project is immediately compared to No Way Home, and that's actually creating a problem. Instead of allowing Brand New Day to become its own story, people are already comparing it to one of Marvel's biggest box office successes. That's an incredibly high standard. Some viewers say this comparison is unfair. Others believe Marvel created those expectations themselves. Here's the question nobody seems to ask. What exactly are fans expecting? Some want another emotional masterpiece. Others want giant multiverse cameos. Some expect shocking surprise villains. Others simply want Peter Parker back as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Those expectations don't even match each other, which means, no matter what Marvel releases, someone will almost certainly be disappointed. This isn't necessarily because the movie is bad. Sometimes expectations become so unrealistic that nothing can satisfy everyone. Think about how quickly opinions spread today. One influencer uploads a positive reaction. Minutes later, another creator posts a negative take. Then dozens of channels start repeating those opinions. Soon, thousands of people begin arguing about a movie they haven't even watched. That's how modern internet culture works. The louder the opinion, the more attention it receives. And attention often creates even more controversy. Sometimes the conversation becomes less about facts and more about who can make the boldest prediction. Marvel isn't just releasing another superhero movie. They're protecting one of the biggest entertainment brands in the world. Spider-Man isn't simply another character. He's one of the most recognizable fictional heroes ever created. That means every decision, every costume, every trailer, every casting rumor gets analyzed by millions of people. Even the smallest creative choice can become headline news. That's a level of pressure very few movie franchises experience.
Is Spider-Man Brand New Day actually better than Spider-Man 2? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the reviews are in, and it looks like it actually might be true. Spider-Man Brand New Day's reviews just dropped after the embargo lifted this morning, and it debuted certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with a 93% score. I desperately want to talk to that other 7%, and I haven't even seen the film. Can we finally admit that all Tom Holland Spider-Man movies are good? All of them sit at over a 90% over there. Now, you got a couple publications like IGN giving it a 7 out of 10, and they're entitled to their opinion for sure. But it doesn't change the fact that this movie is a rousing success. Just like I've said before, superhero fatigue is honestly not real when you talk about Spider-Man. Variety even said it themselves in this post where they're saying superhero fatigue is no match for Peter Parker because it looks like Spider-Man Brand New Day is set to debut at upwards to $280 million opening weekend. And that's just talking domestically here in North America from about 4,300 theaters. People are saying that they nailed the spirit of Spider-Man in a way that they haven't done since The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Say what you want, the TASA movies have absolute sauce, and we can honestly see from the visuals in the trailers that Brand New Day is tapping into that. People are calling it Tom Holland's best performance as Peter Parker and the best Spider-Man movie since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. And guys, you gotta know that means a lot because that film stands at the top of many people's superhero films overall, not just in the Spider-Man franchise. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you've got a Mount Rushmore, if you've got a big three when it comes to superheroes, Spider-Man stands at the top. I don't want to hear that Batman or Superman is bigger than him. I'm absolutely ready for this film. I got about a day and a half before I finally see it myself, and honestly, be sure that you hit the like and follow so you can tap in when I drop my review and let you know if it really stands at #1.
The early reviews for Spider-Man Brand New Day are in, and they're saying it's peak. Matt from Nando Movies says that it's their favorite Spider-Man movie. It's absolutely incredible, and Matt is shocked how good the movie is. Shout out to my friend Daniel at the Movie Podcast for saying that Spider-Man Brand New Day is the Spider-Man movie we've all been waiting for. And then another friend of mine, Justin at Geekcentric, says that Spider-Man Brand New Day feels like the next chapter Peter Parker needed after No Way Home. But I think my favorite early reaction comes from Luca here, saying that Spider-Man Brand New Day may be the first time since 2004 that a live-action Spider-Man film was made with intention outside of profits. And the movie does look like it's doing such a good job at being a street-level story for the hero, which I think everybody wanted. After seeing all of these early reactions, I am counting down the seconds until I get to see the movie this week.
We have just come from a screening. Andrew, what have we seen tonight?
We have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day.
We did see Spider-Man Brand New Day.
These pupils have witnessed. We can't say we haven't filmed our review yet, so we can't say what we think about it. We're going to film that in the morning, and the post for that will be on Instagram and TikTok, our scores.
Like our scores, when we do out of 10, all that stuff, we'll be posting clips tomorrow and Wednesday. But the embargo review lifts tomorrow, so we can review it. But obviously, we don't want to spoil it for y'all. Shout out Steve Lacey. We don't want to spoil it for y'all until Thursday. So you'll have to wait till Thursday for our full, like, whatever, hour and a half, 2 hour review.
Yeah, very long episode probably. We'll do that full episode will come out on Thursday.
On Thursday on YouTube.
The non-spoiler stuff, the full non-spoiler stuff will be on the Patreon, except for the clips, which we're going to post publicly. And everything will be out on Thursday, but the non-spoiler stuff will be on Patreon
as soon as we film it, and then just wait till Thursday.
That
sit
will
tight.
Also probably be long.
Yeah, that'll be 20-30 minutes, something like that. But then sit tight Thursday when the movie is out. You get to see the movie, and then come to our YouTube channel. We'll be talking full spoilers, the past, the present, the future, all of it.
I have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day early, and in true Marvel style, this is a rollercoaster ride from start to finish, only this time it's for predominantly the right reasons, and it's bound to be an instant fan favourite. That's in large part down to Tom Holland, who absolutely gives his career best performance to date as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. There is a distinct difference between the two in this movie. It is a much more mature and emotional performance than we have ever seen him give before, and he is helped by a storyline that focuses on grief, loss and mourning, particularly of loved ones that are still in your life in the form of MJ and Ned, and that's a narrative string that's pulled on throughout and is done brilliantly well. The inclusion of Jon Bernthal as the Punisher is another really enjoyable aspect of Brand New Day. His on-screen chemistry with Tom Holland is one of the best parts of the entire movie, and the storyline actually manages to humanize his character, which I thought was an impossibility. The same can be said about Sadie Sink's character, who is proven to be a real astute addition to the MCU, and I cannot wait to see where her character arc goes. The action sequences in Brand New Day are an undoubted highlight and are some of the very best that the Spider-Man franchise has ever had to offer. They are really that good. Bringing in Destin Daniel Cretton from Shang-Chi was a stroke of genius, particularly when it came to the hand-to-hand combat, mixed with Matrix-style slow-mo, which produces some of the best scenes in a Marvel movie we've seen this decade. Now, I will say that I don't think that Brand New Day is a perfect movie. It does feel a little bit long with some potentially unnecessary cameos thrown in there. There is that over-reliance on humour, the forcibly inserted pauses for applause, and some janky visual effects, but these are all complaints that we've had with Marvel movies for years now, so perhaps it's just something that we need to get used to. That said, Spider-Man Brand New Day is without a doubt a giant leap forward in the right direction, and will be many people's favourite Marvel movie post-Endgame, and paint a really exciting future for the universe that is bound to hook many people back in.
Here's where things get interesting. Is the controversy actually about Brand New Day, or is it about Marvel itself? After years of mixed fan reactions across different MCU projects, some viewers have become more cautious, others remain loyal and optimistic. So every new Marvel announcement instantly divides the audience, which means Brand New Day is carrying expectations far beyond a single movie. It's carrying the hope that Marvel can once again unite fans. Now let's focus on something that made this discussion even bigger. Fans aren't just reacting to the movie, they're analyzing every single detail. A new look, a small costume change, a few seconds of footage, even the tone of a teaser can spark thousands of theories overnight. Some fans believe these details hint at a more grounded Spider-Man story. Others argue it's too early to draw any conclusions from limited promotional material. This is exactly how online speculation grows. Small clues quickly turn into big conversations. One thing Marvel fans love is creating theories. Sometimes those theories end up being surprisingly accurate. Other times, they create expectations that no movie was ever trying to meet. Right now, social media is full of predictions about possible storylines, villains, and character arcs. Some theories sound convincing. Others are based on tiny details that may not mean anything at all. That's the fun and the risk of fan speculation. When people become emotionally invested in a theory, they can end up disappointed if the final movie goes in a different direction. Here's an interesting question. Even if people are arguing, isn't Marvel still benefiting from all this attention? Think about it. Every debate, every reaction video, every TikTok, Instagram reel, YouTube short, and Reddit discussion keeps Spider-Man at the center of the conversation. Whether someone is excited or skeptical, they're still talking about the movie. From a marketing perspective, constant discussion keeps the franchise visible. That doesn't mean the controversy is planned. It simply shows how major movie releases naturally generate intense online attention. History has shown that first impressions don't always tell the full story. Some movies looked incredible in early marketing but later received mixed reviews. Others faced criticism before release and ended up becoming fan favorites. That's why many fans believe it's important to wait until the full movie is available before making a final judgment. Trailers and promotional material are only small pieces of the complete experience. Until audiences watch the finished film, every opinion remains provisional. At the end of the day, this conversation isn't just about Spider-Man. It's about passion. People care because Spider-Man has been part of their lives for years. Some grew up reading the comics. Others discovered the character through movies or games. That emotional connection means expectations will always be high. Strong opinions don't necessarily mean people dislike the character. They often reflect how much they care about where the story goes next.
Everything is going Tom Holland's way. Here's what critics are saying about Spider-Man Brand New Day and the mind-boggling amount of money it's going to make this weekend. Alright, so Tom Holland's historic July just got even better because critics have weighed in on Spider-Man Brand New Day. So let's take a look. Empire called it a more mature, emotional, and distinctly ground-level Spider-Man. The Seattle Times wrote, once again, Spider-Man proves to be the best reason to keep invested in the MCU. The Independent said Brand New Day offers maturation not only of its hero, but of the franchise's entire vision, too. Screen International said, Spider-Man must grow up, a rewarding transformation befitting a consistently smart, thrilling blockbuster. The Daily Beast wrote, with the possible exception of Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2, it's the wall crawler's best film to date. The Wrap said, we don't get many great MCU movies anymore, that this is one of the highlights of the whole franchise, feels amazing and spectacular and sensational. The Hollywood Reporter said, directed with adrenaline and feeling, if not always an ideal grasp of pacing by Destin Daniel Cretton, Trenton, the entertaining new entry has the good sense to stop banging on about the damn multiverse. Consequence called it a remarkably coherent, often joyful film dedicated to giving the character some growth and grace. Slant said, for the first time in his current screen iteration, Spider-Man seems like what he is in the comics, the beating heart of Marvel and its most compelling figure. Coming Soon wrote, it's a movie that remembers that Spider-Man is just as interesting during the emotional scenes as he is during the incredibly fun action sequences. Slash Film said, the most satisfying part about Spider-Man Brand New Day is that it looks and feels like a real movie in every sense of the phrase. Collider wrote, if the Marvel Cinematic Universe continues marching forward, this should be the blueprint for how to set up a future without sacrificing your present. MovieWeb said, Spider-Man Brand New Day brilliantly addresses tragic loss with an action-packed, heartfelt narrative loaded with bombshell twists. And then Hey You Guys summed it up, Spider-Man Brand New Day succeeds because it remembers what has always made Spider-Man compelling. As of Tuesday midday, 91% of the 89 reviews assessed by Rotten Tomatoes are positive, and it's got a generally favorable score of 70 on Metacritic. As for the negative reviews, IndieWire said, this movie causes more problems than it cures. The Boston Globe knocked the movie for relying too heavily on fan service. Fandom Wire called it haphazard, and the Globe and Mail criticized it for being forgettable and repetitive. So will these very strong reviews lead to big box office? It definitely looks like it. On July 23rd, Box Office Theory, one of the leading tracking outlets, estimated that Brand New Day could open between $228 million and $274 million domestic. That's just Canada and the US. But then World of Real posted on Monday, based off intel from Empire City Box Office, that Brand New Day could open above $300 million domestic. That means this movie could hit $1 billion in like 2 weeks. Avengers Endgame currently holds the record for biggest opening of all time with $357 million domestic. And so while it doesn't seem like Brand New Day is going to get that high, the estimates indicate that it could land in the top 5 biggest openings ever. So far this summer, the box office tracking numbers that have come out in the days leading up to the release of movies have been very accurate. And I mean, all of this makes sense. There's been 5 years of pent-up demand for a live-action Spider-Man film. Tom Holland and Zendaya are more popular than ever. The trailer broke records, and now the reviews are solid. Also, despite a few big flops like Moana, Supergirl, and Masters of the Universe, people are actually going back to the movies. The total box office this year so far is $5.7 billion, which is up 10% over this point last year. So yeah, it looks like Brand New Day is going to have the biggest opening of the year by a wide margin. That is until Avengers Doomsday rolls around in December. Anyway, are you surprised to see such positive reactions and huge box office tracking for Brand New Day? And do you have tickets to see it yet?
Sadie Sink absolutely nails her role. She's one of those actors that commands every scene that she's in, and I'm so excited for everyone to see what she brings to this story. Firstly, how do you love talking about movies but not follow my account? After the multiverse saga, Spider-Man Brand New Day feels very refreshing, very grounded. It leans into its characters, relationships, and emotion to really drive this story home. At the core, this movie asks a very beautiful question, and that is, what if the monster inside us isn't a monster at all? And that's why the Hulk fits into this movie so naturally. Yes, he's got some great action scenes, but he really reinforces the main emotional theme of this film. Right now, I'm giving this film an 8.5 out of 10. I think it could go higher. I just need to give it a rewatch. To finish off this review, there's one insane scene with a hot tub that required an intimacy coordinator, and I just can't believe they did that in a Spider-Man film.
The reviews for Spider-Man Brand New Day are finally in, and people are already comparing it to Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man Brand New Day is a much more cerebral follow-up than the crowd-pleasing No Way Home. It is already better than Spider-Man No Way Home. It's Tom Holland's best performance as Peter Parker and the best Spider-Man movie since Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Since Spider-Man 2. No, we are actually so back. Wendy said it's fantastic, no notes, top tier action. Love how deep the story goes into the consequences of Peter's choices from No Way Home and how it affects his life as Peter and Spider-Man. Definitely some tearjerker moment in there, felt like a mini Avengers film. This is getting better and better, bro. How is this even possible? This movie is exceeding expectations. The film flows very well in comparison to recent films. The web swinging reminded of those amazing Spider-Man POV Andrew Garfield sequences. Practical effects were much appreciated, and the energy the film delivers in the third act had the theater cheering. But wait, there is more. Some people were split on how they wanted it to end, but make no
mistake, this is still an epic big screen Spider-Man entry. So this is the one thing I have been hearing about. The Spider-Man Brand New Day ending is where people are getting split. I am very curious what the ending is about, but hey, I already know I am going to love this movie. This is a top 3 for me amongst all Spider-Man movies. This movie is so peak, it's making me read a whole damn book, bro. What am I actually looking at? Tom Holland has firmly cemented himself as the definitive Peter Parker slash Spider-Man. The action is spectacular and the web swinging is the best it's ever been, with sequences inspired by the past Spider-Man films and especially the video games. The cinematography and the camera work are absolutely breathtaking. We are actually getting the MCU's version of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Fans of Savage Hulk are going to be especially happy, and the scenes between Jon Bernthal and Tom Holland are among the film's very best. Give me this movie right now. I am not playing, bro. Someone leaked the whole damn movie. What are you actually talking about? This compares to Spider-Man 2. This might be the best MCU movie of all time. This might top Avengers Infinity War. Holy shit, these reviews are insane.
I have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day, and can I just say, this is the Spider-Man movie I've been waiting for. First though, huge thanks to the Sony Pictures team for inviting me out to the world premiere. It was incredible. And of course, this is just gonna be a non-spoiler out-of-theater reaction, so you're safe. But yeah, this is the most Tom-centric, Spider-Man-focused story we've gotten yet. And I love that for us. Because finally, we have made it to the more mature, adult, sad boy focused Peter Parker era. And at this point, he is just continuing to carry the weight of everything that happened to him since No Way Home. And you can truly feel that in the emotion of every scene, which I think just also gives the film the closest comics accurate Peter and Spider-Man we've seen from Tom yet. Plus, with all that, I think there's just more of a more mature and darker tone that leans closer to the Sam Raimi style of Spider-Man, with just a more of a Daniel Destin Cretton flair. Now, it still has all the humor you expect from a Spider-Man film, and Tom is great in it, but it also lets those emotional moments breathe, which is crucial to a Spider-Man story. I laughed, I cried, I did all the things, but it truly feels like this character is finally growing up alongside its audience, and if this is the direction they're taking Spider-Man now, I am all in. Plus, I do also think this film has some of the best web slinging we've seen yet. Like when Spider-Man is swinging all through New York, there's some shots that are like a POV, and it's truly just a love letter to New York City in general as well. Overall, if this film has accomplished one thing, I think it truly has solidified Tom Holland as my new favorite Spider-Man. It is just that good, and he is so good in it. But of course, I'm gonna see it a couple more times.
I just got back from watching Spider-Man Brand New Day. And I can't review the film yet. I'm not going to spoil anything. But there are 2 parts to talk about here. One, just being able to attend the world premiere of Spider-Man Brand New Day is just absolute insanity. That is something that I don't think I can actually believe happened. But 2, this movie... I feel seen in a way from a film that I haven't in a while, and this film is going to help so many feel seen. I think that's where I would leave it at. It's... I don't even have words. I don't have words for what I watched. It's just... Spider-Man's home. Spider-Man's home. Destin brought Spider-Man home. That's all I gotta say.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Spider-Man Glazing Board, I just got out of the world premiere for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and I got something to say. I don't care what anybody says. Get these beggars out of here. This is my favorite Spider-Man movie since Sam Raimi's illustrious Spider-Man 2. You can just feel the sincere, genuine passion pouring out of the screen in Spider-Man Brand New Day. This thing really meant something to me. It made me feel something. It's everything I wanted it to be and more. Because it's like I've been saying this entire time. Spider-Man 2 is Spider-Man no more, but Brand New Day is Peter Parker no more. And of course, we have these incredible action sequences, the Hulk, the Punisher, some insane reveals. But what I love most is that they ground it in an emotional core that we can all resonate with, because this is the most relatable fictional character in history to me personally. Destin understands that what makes Spider-Man relatable isn't that he's superhuman, but that he's superhuman. And to me, none of that action, none of these punches being thrown, none of these swings matter if you don't have emotional weight behind it all. I absolutely love the way that they handled the mental health aspect and being alone, and hopefully teaching this generation of kids that more connects us and separates us, and human connection is vital for the human experience. And I know we all can resonate with this type of story. No matter what your occupation is, we've all had that same experience where we pour ourselves into our work, into our masks, and neglect those around us and avoid human connection. Shit, even when I make my own videos and edit, I'm spending so much time in my responsibility that I inadvertently push my loved ones away. Like, there's so many times where I snap myself out and say, I need to go say hi to my wife and my kid. And that's what Peter Parker is going through in this film. And I think that's such a valuable lesson to be teaching everybody. It doesn't matter what age you are. That's something that I'll say I love about this movie, that it feels like they finally matured. They grew the fuck up with their audience. Don't get me wrong, I love the home trilogy. I love how it was a different approach to Spider-Man, and obviously it's been his origin story up to this point, getting him to the point of finally being Spider-Man, the Spider-Man that we all know and love. And in a way, all that blue balling and edging from the past 10 years pays off, because you get a Spider-Man MCU film that actually has a lot for you to chew on. It doesn't feel a little bit hollow. It's actually swinging amongst the skyscrapers in New York City, giving you different perspectives and outlooks on how he swings. It's of course pulling inspiration from every type of Spider-Man media, the comics, movies, video games. A lot of his iconography and mythos are perfectly on display here. He's moving like Insomniac Spider-Man. He has gadgets. The action choreography and fight scenes, I'm telling you, the Hulk versus Spider-Man fight, the Hand versus Spider-Man fight, people are going to be talking about those forever. And what I love most is how much Tom is actually in the suit. He wears the Spider-Man suit for a majority of it. And what I really love is that they showed him amongst the people of New York City. New York City felt like a character again. And you really see how important Spider-Man is to the community. And I think above all else, that's what I love about my Spider-Man films. I'm telling you, you guys are in for some crazy surprises. I think easily my favorite aspect, one of my favorite aspects of this movie is Spider-Man and Punisher's dynamic. When I tell you we're going to have so many memes from that, and I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that John Bernthal and Tom Holland as Punisher and Spider-Man are riffing on a level that's freaking sublime. This is definitely the best that Tom Holland has ever been in this franchise. Sadie Sink has some incredible moments as her character, which I will not reveal. I love Zendaya and Jacob Batalon as Ned and MJ, and the way that they're utilized throughout the story is beautiful. But I'll have more thoughts in my in-depth review. I just wanted to get some rapid fire reaction off. But for now, I can't believe this is my life right now. Like, genuinely, I can't thank y'all from the bottom of my heart anymore that I actually get to be at these events with my friends that I love so much. And this is what it's all about, man. That's the real reason I love doing what I do. And if nobody told you this today, I love you, you matter. Make sure you tell someone you love them today.
As somebody who's been called a Tom Holland Spider-Man hater, I have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day. Let me give you my honest opinion on this movie. So yes, it's true. Although I don't dislike Tom Holland as Spider-Man, I always did feel slightly disconnected with his movies. I liked them and enjoyed them, but I always walked out feeling like they were just missing something. So when Brand New Day was coming up and they were describing it as a rebirth for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I was really curious to see if maybe they could inject that thing I felt was always missing. And they did it. This is the Tom Holland Spider-Man movie I have been waiting for. Destin Daniel Cretton, I think, took the best elements of what John Watts did with his trilogy, brought him in here, but gave Tom Holland Spider-Man that visual flair I feel has been lacking. The web swinging, the dynamic work with the camera in the action sequences, a lot less use of CGI, particularly on the suit. Even just the color palette of the movie felt more like a real movie to me. But it's not just in its visual style, it's in its emotions, because Destin Daniel Cretton is great at finding the human emotional element of a character and centering that into the story. This is the most mature a Spider-Man movie has felt. Peter Spider-Man feels very grown up, and it's earned a lot in part thanks to what John Watts did with his trilogy and how far we've seen this Peter grow. It's the most I've connected with Tom Holland's iteration of Spider-Man. Multiple times throughout this movie, I was genuinely getting sad and even teary-eyed for the heartbreaking things that would happen to Spider-Man in this movie. It was said that this movie took a lot of inspiration from Matt Reeves' The Batman, and I totally see how, because Peter Parker's non-existent. He's pushed him aside, and Peter Parker is Spider-Man 80 to 70% of this movie. And we not only get to see Peter use his brain to build his own tech, he is trying to solve this mystery going on, but it's an engaging detective story that you're peeling back layers, and it made the 2-hour, 40-minute runtime fly by. The dynamic between Punisher and Spider-Man is also my favorite pairing of all the Spider-Man movies. John Bernthal and Tom Holland had just amazing chemistry, and it was so funny seeing them bicker back and forth, but also I just love the way they handled Punisher and being able to show a more lighthearted side of his without
completely censoring him. Now, because I am picky with my Spider-Man, I want to get into my negatives and things I'm mixed on with this film. I do think the beginning of it is very clunky and oddly edited. That and the movie does feel slightly over bloated with its characters and different storylines going on. And lastly, the biggest make or break thing, Sadie Sink's character and her inclusion. Now, I think Sadie Sink is great in the role she was given, and thematically, I loved what they did with her and how that connects to Spider-Man, but there's just the slightest bummer in me as a Spider-Man fan that it's like, I really want to see Tom have his traditional villain, especially when you had characters like a Tarantula, a Boomerang, a Tombstone, who have extremely minimal roles in this movie. But all this to say, even with those negatives, I am willing to say this is my favorite Tom Holland Spider-Man movie, and I am so excited for the direction they head in, if this is the style and vibe they want to go, because this is a really great, mature Spider-Man movie, and I hope Destin Daniel Craig comes back for the next one.
Let's separate hype from reality. There's no question that Spider-Man Brand New Day is one of the most anticipated superhero movies right now, but excitement alone doesn't guarantee success. At the same time, online criticism doesn't automatically mean the movie will fail. We've seen this happen before. Some films were praised before release but disappointed audiences. Others faced endless criticism and later became fan favorites. That's why judging a movie before its release can be misleading. The only thing we truly know today is that expectations are incredibly high. 16 to 1700 hours, why Marvel can't please everyone. Here's the challenge Marvel faces. Different fans want completely different Spider-Man movies. Some want emotional storytelling. Some want action from beginning to end. Others want surprise cameos. Many simply want Peter Parker's personal journey without distractions. Trying to satisfy every group is almost impossible. No matter what Marvel delivers, someone will say it wasn't enough. That's the reality of a franchise this popular. Believe it or not, every debate keeps Spider-Man in the headlines. Every YouTube video, every TikTok, every Reddit discussion, every X post keeps people talking. Whether reactions are positive or negative, public attention can increase awareness of a major release. That doesn't mean controversy is created intentionally. It simply shows how passionate audiences can amplify every new development. The real test won't be the online debate. It will be how audiences respond after watching the finished movie. After looking at both sides, here's the bigger picture. This controversy isn't really about one trailer, one image, or one rumor. It's about trust. Some fans trust Marvel and are excited to see where Peter Parker's story goes next. Others want to wait for the finished film before forming an opinion. Both approaches are understandable. The important thing is to separate confirmed information from speculation and to keep discussions respectful. In the end, the movie itself, not the internet, will determine whether Spider-Man Brand New Day lives up to expectations.